Hello, what's going on, everybody? It is I, the Conservative Coin Collector, and I am currently home alone. I got to thinking, what can I do now that I can't do when my family is home? I have an idea. I'm going to sneak to my parents' room and explore this piggy bank here. This piggy bank belongs to my dad. Big Buffalo Bills fan. I'm gonna open her up and see what's inside. I've opened this once before. Just gotta figure out how to do it again without breaking it. She's open. Let's see what's inside. Got a pretty decent haul of stuff. Okay, what's the first thing I see? Ooh. I see a Merc dime from 1934. Without looking at them all closely, I just separated the coins into their selected groups, so to speak. And I'm going to start small with the pennies. There's a lot of pennies. They're all copper. Oh, and there's a steel penny here. A steel penny that's whole from 1943. The whole pennies they don't have all that much value. Once you hold them, you destroy their value. But the coolness factor is it's still very cool to find a whole penny. They may be considered damaged, but in my opinion, their value should increase with the whole. It gives them personality. It gives them character. These are all just copper memorial cents, so there's really not much to cover here. But these are wheat pennies. Now these are where it gets interesting. I'm gonna put the other pennies in here and go through these wheat pennies. There's a 1947 S, a 1950 S, a 41D, a 58. They're all from the 50s, I think. Hold on. I was right. They're all from the 40s and the 50s. So they're all common date wheat pennies. And I could see if I had room in my book for them. But nope, they're going right back in here where they belong. In the head they go. I have the nickels that are up next. He's got a lot of 40s nickels. And I can show you a difference between a regular 40s nickel and a war nickel right here. And a regular 40s nickel doesn't have silver content. But a war nickel does have silver content. This one is from 1942, and this one is from 1943. On the back of the 42, you can't see the mint mark above the Monticello. But above the 43, you can see the mint mark above the Monticello. That's not a war nickel. This is. When the P is above the Monticello, and instead of where the mint mark usually is on the nickels, that's how you can tell it is a war nickel. These ones are from the 40s. Got another war nickel. This is a 1940 that's just a regular. I think there's only one other war nickel in the collection here. These are from the 50s. Some of them are more from the 40s. Some of them are from the 50s. And they are 70 and 80-year-old nickels, which unfortunately account for the coolness factor. But the war nickels with silver in them, they can actually be worth something in the right condition. And a little bit older are buffalo nickels. This one's got a hole in it. It is from 1936. And this one is dateless. It looks old, but there is no date on it. And then in 1936. onto the dimes. Surprisingly, there are not that many dimes. He has 60s, a 65, a 68, a 65, and a 36. And now, he does have, but the dime is the only silver one, is the Mercury head dime. I remember many months ago going through this off camera just with my dad, and he probably thought that 65 was the last year of silver, and no, it's 64 is the last year of silver. Speaking of silver, let's take a look at the quarters, because there are only like 4 dimes. Oh, a bicentennial quarter, a 65. Got a lot of 65s. A 67. Which they are old, but unfortunately, all clad, all 25 cents. At least for now. Next up are half dollars. It's got a 72, an 83, a 71, 83, 72. It's funny, he's got a lot of 71s and 72s. His birth year, my mom's birth year. So that's why he has a lot of 71s and 72s. Which, that's one thing I'm a big proponent of, is it may not be worth a whole lot of money, but collect what you think looks cool. Collect a very special year, whether it's your birth year or anniversary year. I mean, coins can be special other than just money factor alone. You can have a special memory to them. And if you like collecting coins like that, I say go for it. Next up are the dollar coins. The first dollar coin I'll cover is the Susan B. Anthony. It's kind of funny how the Susan B. Anthony is a lot smaller than the Ike dollar that it replaced. And to be fair, it had to be this small so it could fit in vending machines. And when it comes to size, the Ike dollar is kind of ridiculous. But nonetheless, they're Ike dollars, they're big, they're cool. And they have United States of America map on them. All of North America. They're just pretty cool, pretty big, like dollars. Now the most interesting coins are going to be the foreigns. Some of these he could have picked up when he was in these countries. Some of these could have just been found. My dad has been all over the world. His most recent trip was to Uganda back in November, and I actually covered my first Ugandan currency around Christmas time last year when I got it for a Christmas present. He left like November 2nd or 3rd and came back December 2nd or 3rd, so we didn't get our presents until Christmas because that just was the most logical thing. Now, I think there's going to be a lot of Mexican coins here because I remember when he went to Mexico for a week or two to cover a wedding. He was a photographer, and unfortunately he does not do weddings anymore, but he still travels, but not as frequently, and still does some pretty good work. Here we have an Australian coin from 1981. It's got the seal on it. Actually, I know what I'm going to do with the foreign coins after I cover them. I plug her back in. I'm going to stick them in the helmet. If I can. Oh, there we go. Most of these are coins from south of the border. So this is a 10 peso coin, 10 pesos. And this is a 5 peso coin. We got a 1. It looks like the 50 cents. Another $5. And another 10 pesos. And a coin I missed, a Sacagawea dollar. And no, it is not the Cheerio dollar. Still pretty cool. Stick them all in the top of the helmet one by one. Well, that was the contents of what's in my dad's piggy bank. And all the coins are in here, and they're going to stay in here. I didn't take anything in full permission. I do have it. Okay, with that being said, I'm the Conservative Coin Collector. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and hit the bell icon. Until next time, I'm signing off. So long, YouTube.